That
I
is the,
feel digital.
this is what we generally call as Murphy's law. Wrong things will go wrong at the wrong time.
Now live.
Very
Should
true.
connect both on we'll end.
Asim, ready?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Atul.
Yeah, sir. अभी
Okay.
शुरू करें ये 10 सेकंड.
I will just.
Yes, sir. Now start.
Okay,
Yeah,
so I
sir.
will just complete what I was saying.
Yeah.
There's a huge amount of liquidity that has happened, that has been literally cash has been printed around the world. And because of governments wanting to, counter the COVID slowdown. Now, this money is going to chase assets. And if it is not directed in the proper way, it's going to lead to huge inflation. So my view is that it's a huge opportunity for India to attract a lot of this liquidity that is sloshing around in markets around the world. So that's one area that I would say is possibly an opportunity for banks in India to get hold of this liquidity and channel it into projects into India. So that's one area. The second is what has been happening. Another reason of this liquidity is if you notice, the stock markets have been going up considerably. Now they've been going up because this liquidity has to chase some assets. Otherwise, it would come into inflation, into products and services and things like that we are using every day. So another reason is that you should properly channel this money. And it's a huge opportunity again for India. And then you combine it with business models and you combine it with technology and with artificial intelligence, which, you can do a huge amount. I've been reading a lot about artificial intelligence lately. And I feel there's so much that can be done to reduce costs and to enable new business models and do things that were never possible before. Like, reducing the cost of, let's say, buying a car, reducing the cost of insurance. These are areas that are big opportunities today. Reducing the cost of education, targeting advertising, targeting actually even building new kinds of weapons is another area where AI could be very useful. The drone swarms and things like that. So AI is going to enable, and deep learning. For instance, I have worked on a project where I've used AI to predict the price of oil and to do pattern recognition, which led to large amount of money that was made by a corporate, right? So AI is very useful, and it can enable a lot of business models and create a huge amount of disruption in markets. And that's what strategy is all about. How do you combine technology, resources, people to yield extraordinary results? That's it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. So just to conclude, see, one thing is when we say corporate growth, as rightly pointed out by Rajesh and Ashish, it is not, there's a question of putting in the money into the system. Money can come and just get away. The strategy is how do you use it, what you do. Again, it's a general statement, But on the bottom line, what do we mean by money will come and go? Everywhere we have to say what the value addition we are bringing. In fact, government should also make it a mandatory for people to say how many people you are employing directly and how many people are benefiting indirectly. Like some people dream, okay, let me save enough within my first 5 years so that I can live lifelong. It's the most, negative thing in life. If anything or something should be cheap, let everything be free. Okay, can we ever live? Unless every item which is X, it has got some division of how many it is supporting. Suppose I buy a TV worth 10,000 rupees, 1 lakh rupee. How much of the value addition is by, otherwise everything is mud. As we all know, land and water are the two things given by nature. Rest all things are man-made. Even the most sophisticated IC chip, I'm from the IT electronic background, it is just sand, it is just silicon. It is what is giving you the most sophisticated IC. But when it is coming up, it is employing so many people. It is giving value addition to so many people. And when it has already come to life, again, it is giving value addition by the services which is rendering. Okay. Same thing should be done for various levels and layers. It is not the profit alone. It is the way we have generated the profit has to be seen. Profit can be done just by, even by just making drugs and selling it. Is it what we require? It will give huge value addition. We'll kill the people. Okay. But the same drug, if it is for health, if it is for, for longer sustenance, And at the same time, it is employing so many people right at the growing level, right at the manufacturing level, right at the after service level, right at the way it is, then it is doing justice. And same in of this particular word, it can be every single item. May be a small lamp, it may be a remote control, or it can be a sports. Even the sports can give rise to so many people's employment, so many people's value addition, and automatically the main company. That's where Rajesh luckily has started his talk by saying how, the whole cycle need not be just money, money, money alone. It has to be how you use the money, how you plan the money, how you strategize the money. And at the same time, one is not talking of social service as a part of commercial business. Commercial business is commercial, social service is social. So the decoupling has to be, of course, with some CSR bracket in between. But how do we do it to see that we take the corporate on a strategized way for the long-term sustenance of the society? So with that, I will conclude. Akram can formally
Thank you. Thank
say
you
that.
so much, Dr. Shekhar. Thank you so much, Rajesh sir, Ashish sir. Wonderful, actually, views and points that you have pointed out, you have taken up from this discussion. Very shortly, I want to say that there are three, I think, things or phrases we have used. One is strategic planning. The second is multi-dimensional, corporate growth, and the third is national reincarnation. Post-COVID, certainly, as we are talking, is a complete new era. Life would be very different. That now this Zoom or video conferencing is going to be a very common phenomena, which is also going to save millions of money, because we cannot meet. Physically, the four people who are connected here, it is extremely expensive to meet, but we can do it at the cheapest rate. However, electricity, internet connectivity can create some noise or problem in between, but
Well,
this is a much cheaper exercise or platform to do so. That is number one. Second is planning. We do planning every day. What time we need to take bath, what time we need to sit for work, what time we need to do what activity, to whom the mail to be written. But strategic planning gives you exact the priority structure, what do you need to do when, and which one comes first, which one comes second important point. I think all the organizations, if you see, there are more than 1 million search engines across the world, but only Google is the number one. Why? There are many such social media platforms, but only Facebook is the prominent one. So we need to understand why some organizations are different from others. Strategic planning, is very different for different organizations. So the second point is multidimensional growth. So again, I want to say this point that any vision or any concept, as long as it impacts or benefits the common mass or the people of the country, that project is bound to succeed. So whichever endeavor or initiative or adventure we take, if it can affect either positively or negatively, it benefits or it harms people, you will find those projects will be massively successful. So what we need to understand, even if media is our corporate or business, through this we need to identify that how we are impacting the lives of the stakeholders who are connected with us. If it impacts, this is certainly going to be successful. No one can stop it. The third, I want to say that, yeah, so all these things makes a huge difference. So with thanking to all our speakers, if you like our discussion, Policy Times as a development media promoting developmental journalism aims to touch our life and contribute something in the nation building process. In our lifetime, we actually want to see India one of the most prosperous nations of the world. So if you want to be the part of the growth journey that we have, do subscribe and like our pages. Thank you. Keep watching.